sure it takes care of you. Yeah.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Earth Check. My name is Anne Masharia, and in today's episode we've got so much lined up for you. First of all, the topic of today is the role of youth in environmental conservation. I'm sitting around with great people who are making a difference, including trying the ways and means to make sure that Mother Earth is better for living. Now I'm sitting down with Khamisi Abubakar. Thank you very much for joining us. Karibu sana. This is your first time now?
To be here. Yeah, this is my first time.
First of all, let me just say many thanks for making time for us. And I'll dive straight to it. What is the role of the youth in environmental conservation? Do we really have a voice in that?
Okay. First, my name, as we said, is Khamisi Abubakar, and I am a model at Esfield Brands, and also I'm a contestant in the Mr. and Mr. Kiambu County. So you want to know about the role of youth in environment. First, we always say, there's a Swahili saying, udongo wahi ungali maji, sindio? Yeah. So youth, first you have to start with youth in conserving the environment. The youth first are strong, and they are it's like an age whereby most of the people look at it. So we expect the youth, through initiatives and their maybe groups which they always plan of, or they create or come up with, to use the groups in conserving the environment. I'll give you an example. For example, you can say Team Environment Kenya. So Team Environment Kenya is an organization that is also made up of, or youth created such a group, you see. So Team Environment Kenya, through its initiatives, using the beauty pageants to come up or bring youth together, or to bring maybe county youth together in growing or conserving the environment. I'll give an example. Team Environment Kenya in different countries, like maybe Kakamega County. They went there, they used the beauty pageant to create and conserve the environment, whereby the youth, after they have selected the leaders or have been crowned as leaders after the contest, so they come up with projects such as maybe monthly or weekly cleanups in their counties, and also they have initiatives such as going around the schools. They teach maybe the students about environment, or about how they should conserve the environment, maybe through the green projects in schools, whereby there are some seedlings which are being introduced by Team Environment Kenya, and the children participate. It's like a game now. They plant the trees, and with time they see how the seedlings grow up, maybe through the nursery projects. And also in schools, we have during, for example, maybe foodstuffs, they can grow fruits, whereby the fruits, once they grow, now the fruits are reintroduced into their meals, and they see the sweetness of the fruits, and they also know the importance of the trees. Also, the seedlings, once they grow out from maybe the trees, they get shades, maybe where they get places where they can sit down and maybe make their own, maybe they can chat stories under the shades, the beauty of the environment in schools also.
All right, now we've talked about the various courses or different callings that youths are engaged in. But of course, for us to come up with this, or to come up with solutions, there must be burning problems. Do we still have environmental problems that they need to be addressed, like as soon as possible?
Yeah, there is an issue of global warming, ozone layer depletion. So let me talk about the ozone layer depletion. So ozone, this is a phrase also, it explains about oxygen. Now the ozone layer is found in the atmosphere. You see, it is far away from the Earth's surface. Now the ozone layer protects maybe ultraviolet radiation or direct sunlight from reaching the Earth's surface. And once it is depleted, the ozone layer is depleted through maybe the chlorofluorocarbons, or these pollutants which come from industries. They have been produced from industries, and they pollute the environment. Now once they reach the ozone layer, they deplete the ozone layer such that it leads to the depletion of the ozone layer, and you will see maybe some direct sunlight reaching the earth's surface. This direct sunlight can even cause burns, you see, and also some other diseases maybe related to radiation. Also, we have the issue of desertification. Desertification also comes out through deforestation and also maybe exploitation, over-exploitation of resources, e.g. overfishing, you see. So this depletes, maybe also there is a depletion of the resources. And you see we have a high population also in Kenya now. So such that there is competition for resources also.
A resource.
Yeah, a resource, yeah. That's it. So also we have issues of waste disposal, how people dispose the waste. We can see maybe through the solid waste we see maybe in towns. This municipal waste, people dispose waste in a manner that is not recommended due to ignorance. So the population has also, or the citizens has to be educated about the environment, how to dispose the environment. So we should have landfills or designated areas where the waste should be disposed. You see. Also, we have issues of global warming and maybe greenhouse effects. This is also brought through maybe burning of fossil fuels, whereas when it reaches the atmosphere, it gets heated and it leads to the rise of temperatures. I can give you an example of a situation that happened in Kuwait. The temperatures rose to about 98 degrees Celsius there, you see. It led to burning of cars, maybe the cars there melted. So such a situation should be taking care of our environments, so that, because we need the environment more than how it needs us, you see. So those are examples of the major problems that affect the environment.
All right, you've talked about some of the causes. You've talked about global warming, you've talked about waste, you've talked about which sometimes can lead to climate change and all that stuff. And it all boils down to population increase. We don't have we've not reached the sustainability line where we have a balance between resources plus the population, because the population is growing, but we don't have sufficient resources to feed or to satisfy the needs of this population. And what do you think, what solutions to that?
Solution? I can say we can recycle. You see, the products maybe from industries which we use, we can recycle them through the maybe initiatives like reusing, refilling, reuse. For example, like what NEMA have been doing, banning of plastic bags. So once people have been enforced to the Environmental Management Coordination Acts by following them, so because we see people do not comply. For example, I can give you an example of polythene bags. People are still using polythene bags, you see, and this is not ignorance. And also, there is also issues of corruption that come in, because what if the environmentalists reinforce the laws? I'm sure, because we cannot even complain that the citizen and the world using the polythene bags, but we should control first from the source. Where do these polythene bags being processed? Where are they coming from? So we should start by maybe attacking the plants now, the industrial plants which process these polythene bags, banning from maybe from our boundaries maybe. No, now we prevent them from even coming or being imported. So such initiatives can reduce maybe the use or the degradation of the environment, environmental degradation.
But even if we're talking about dealing with population, we're not talking about, even if we're talking about resource, we're not talking about the population. How do we deal with population? Because Kenya is a growing country.
Yeah.
And in a few years' time, we'll be talking about 60, 70 million people. You know?
Yeah, I think there are some health projects which have been taking place. For example, the issue of family planning. Yeah, I can see nowadays, yeah, there are issues of family planning. Then the citizens should be also made aware or being educated about family planning practices, you see. And this can be done also by maybe introducing like a syllabus or maybe it's like a unit in colleges and also in high schools maybe, so that the students first at schools, they should be educated about these things, how to use family planning and planning methods, so that once they grow up, they become maybe mothers and fathers or parents, they know how to balance such kinds of issues. Also, I can give an example of an issue like, you're talking about population, yeah? Now, also, you know, population also lead to maybe industrialization and urbanization. Now, through NEMA, by controlling these industries through the environmental impact assessment projects, how the lead experts or environmental experts control the industry or the proposed projects before they have been maybe built. So that's why we said it should be reinforced, made the requirement of environmentalists, whereby the Environmental Management Coordination Act requires before any project is being started, there should be written a proposal report to this organization, that is NEMA, before any projects have been hosted, so that any project that, because we know industrialization also creates employment, you see, and once people are employed and their living standards is good, that means also the population will increase. So,
but just to cut you short, I'm sorry for doing that. You
Yeah.
talked about NEMA and you talked about the environmental impact assessment. This is the same body that is giving out licenses
yeah,
to all companies that have complied to environmental standards. If you looked at our headlines last week, it can tell you there is something wrong with NEMA. Because we cannot be having pollution going on in rivers, toxication of, you know, the discharge of effluents that are not environmental friendly, yet we are here praising NEMA. They'll only act the minute there's a problem. How do you tell Kenyans to trust the same body giving out licenses?
that's why I said earlier, I think I mentioned something about corruption also.
Okay.
I said about corruption. I don't know if corruption will end in Kenya, but because, you know, mostly, maybe projects like mining projects, they pollute a lot of, they give out a lot of pollutants and they degrade the environment. So once the citizens themselves start now to stop corruption, because, you know, you can, a person maybe in the office at NEMA cannot be corrupted once you don't want to do corruption. Because once you are there, and more so than maybe the environmentalists at National Environment Management Authority, they will give you the regulation and or MCA laws and tell you this is what is wanted once you want to start this project. This is what we don't want, or why we don't want this project to take place in a certain place. Now, once someone has been told something like that, why should he not, or should she not adhere or abide to the laws, and he or she goes forward and start maybe giving out money and say, okay, I'm gonna give you such an amount, and why don't you let me start this project?
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Is there probably the benefits of doing an EIA?
Yeah, there are benefits of doing EIA. Because environmental impact assessment first reduces risks. See, for example, I'll give an example of maybe, I think you have seen some of the projects or buildings maybe have been broke, or have been taken down. This is because maybe they have not been approved or they have not been licensed now by the government. Maybe through NEMA, they have not been licensed. And someone maybe has started the project without what? A license. So that's why it leads to something like that, to NEMA maybe to ban or destroy such kind of buildings. So environmental impact assessment, instead of someone going to a loss by starting a project or without being licensed, now this reduces the risk of buildings being destroyed also. And also environmental impact assessment also helps the citizen, because it acts both positively, it looks at the positive impacts of a proposed project and the negative impacts of that proposed project. So what maybe someone wants to start maybe or to build an industry. First, NEMA will check what is the benefit of this industry maybe to the society, or the place, maybe the proposed place where the industry is to be started. So what is around there? Maybe is there a river, or is there a dam, or is there maybe trees planted, or a forest? Or should this person, does he or is she required maybe to destroy a forest so as to start the project? You see, NEMA now controls both and looks both at the positive impacts and the negative impacts. Yeah.
Many thanks, Abubakar, for making time for us.
Thank you.
I'm sure our viewers will be so delighted to, gain information and the knowledge you've shared with us. Asante sana.
Thank you.
We all agree that we have something to do and we have a role to play in today's environmental sector. And, this and much more after the break.
Ooh, freshness, sweetness, happiness to the surrounding breeze. Ooh, freshness, sweetness, happiness to the surrounding breeze.
Welcome back. Now, in a few years to come, we might not experience the same environmental conditions we are experiencing right now. Probably, you'll never find an elephant anywhere or a tree nearby. But now, these environmental youngsters I'm sitting with have so much to say and solutions to the environmental problems we are facing. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Just a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
My name is Macloud Philip. I am an MC, I am a media personality, the founder of Eastfield Brands Company, and many other stuff.
All right.
Yes.
What do you do? Because I'm looking at the bunch of questions I'm presented. You're an official at TK?
Yeah, I'm the regional Kiambu County, in fact, Mount Kenya region coordinator. That means all the counties within Mount Kenya region, I'm the head or the president who organizes and plans with other bodies on how we do our activities and also initiate environmental programs to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do.
All right. You're doing what you're supposed to do. And talking about these environmental programs,
Yes.
what are you talking about?
We're talking about street cleaning. We're talking about campaigns that creates awareness on how to take care of our future generations via young people. We're inspiring young people to embrace and also accept the fact that the future cannot be catered for by old people, but it can be catered for by them, and how to do it, we need to teach them.
All right.
That's what we're doing exactly.
You talk about street cleaning.
Yes.
And I've seen you guys a couple of times. I met with Ochanda. We've done some few projects with him.
Yes.
And the question I get all the time in every meeting I'm there is, you do more of cleanups and tree planting. But if you're talking about cleanups, how sustainable are these cleanups?
Now, according to our programs, to make it sustainable, it means we need to teach the public on how to do it. Because you see, we can't be doing it for them every other day. What we usually do is let the public know, look, we are doing this not to make it clean, but we want to help you have the mentality and perspective of making it greener too. So how do we do that? That's why we plant trees, to remind them that one day we were here, we made it a little bit green, and you can make it more greener. So once we introduce the initiatives of cleaning, we've shown the pathway. We've shown this is the way to follow. Once these young ones knows that they can't be even littering the streets anyhowly or any place they are at. So they will be having the concept of let's make this better with the help of their parents, and then that is how we sustain it.
All right.
Yes.
I've seen there's this club in KU, Kunek.
Yeah.
I was a member of Kunek.
Okay.
And for 2 good years, they've gone back to the same spot to clean up.
Yes.
Gatheraini river or something.
Yes.
They've gone, so the cleanup for the first time, and then we go back, do the same cleanup.
Yes.
To the public, it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Your comment?
Now, the public is under a policy that is created by the government. Now, when the government through NEMA, that is National Environmental Management Association, that needs to bring on board the rule, not just the rule of law, in terms of applying it to enforce what has been done. If I and you, Arena, we go to the streets and clean, it's out of our own will. No one pushed us. But if you see the country like Rwanda, they're applying the rule of law. After 10 meters, you meet a policeman. And you know, when you know there's a policeman ahead of you, you can't just do anything. You're within the law and you can't compromise your character. And the same way, people does not need to be enforced to be clean. People need to get it from their head. Like personally, naturally, I know it took you time to prepare your nails to be here, your coat and everything, your hair and everything. So the same way we love ourselves and create it from within, we want to be good. It's the same way we cater even for that environment out there, where you're going to sit at that matatu, where you're going to litter even after taking that chewing gum and such stuff. Yes, so it's something that should come from within, and then we can apply it on the outside.
I agree. We have to come. It starts with self-awareness.
Yes.
But do you agree that Kenya, when it comes to environmental conservation and all that stuff, we are failing at the enforcement level?
Very true. It's true, yes. But you know, we don't need to wait until it's too late for us to do what we're supposed to do. Because I'll give you an example of Kuwait. The other day, Kuwait temperatures rose up to 98 degrees Celsius, and the windscreens and anything that was plastic was melting. We don't need to reach there, because Kenyans, we are used to the culture of last minute rush, which is very dangerous, because once something has gone wrong, sometimes it's very hard to reverse it. As I can remember from the history, Nairobi River used to be, you know, the haven of rivers, where you could drink water, you could feel good, and no wonder even the name Nairobi comes from, meaning a place of coolness, you know. So right now as we're talking, we've been doing the cleanup again and again and again. But the good thing is I can concur with the Rotary clubs. They're trying to come up with an initiative that they're going to clean it once and for all. And many thanks to them. With Team Environment Kenya, we are also coming, bringing our heads together, fostering the same, and just making it happen. So it's not a one-day thing, because it has taken years for it to pile up. So it means it will also take us years, maybe by Vision 2030, that's when maybe it's gonna work, I don't know. But what we need to do is make sure the young ones, the younger generations, need to know we don't need to continue making it even worse. We need to be part of the solution. Yeah, in fact, we say don't be part of, be the solution, don't be part of pollution.
All right.
Yes.
But you know, Team Environment, there's always something that's pushing you guys to always do something.
Yes.
What's that?
Now, what pushes us to do what we're doing right now is the will we believe in the young people. We have the outcry out there, people saying there's no employment opportunities. And we wonder, if there's no employment opportunities, are we going all to fly to the USA or Canada to have employment opportunities? Hell no, because we were born here and there are a lot of things we can do. Number one, what we do is this. We create young men through a pageantry, beauty pageantry, and then out of them we create youth environmental ambassadors. These are the people to sit within the board, within the UN Summit environmental programs, and represent the face of the future for the nation. Because once you bring this, I'm not being irrespectful to any person in the capacity of their age, but what I want to say is, when we have them in that board, they can help, because this issue of conferencing and talking, it's enough. We're saying enough, it's enough. And that's why we're coming out there, empower these young guys and tell them, look, once you take care of only 2 trees, this reminds me of the country of Ethiopia. Last month, Ethiopia broke the world record by planting 200 million trees. You can imagine, I'm talking about Ethiopia. If you compare Ethiopia and Kenya, we are better off. We have every resources. And what we are trying to do is not only for planting trees, also water catchment areas protection. Also, people just being aware of when I'm here, what can I do better? Because sometimes there are those small petty issues that we need to deal with. Things like you are in a matatu, someone just throw away through the window a plastic bottle, and you're like, what if you carry it to your house, because it's easier from there to collect it. And once people start taking care of such, we're going to be on the right track.
All right.
Yes.
So you've witnessed a situation where someone litters
Yes.
in a matatu?
Many times, many times.
How did you confront the situation?
Now, you see, sometimes as a leader, you need to lead from the front. And to lead from the front, you need to lead by an example. So literally, personally, I am one person who is a very big fan of fresh, because I believe fresh makes my mouth fresh when I'm not talking to anyone. So what I usually do, after finishing my own pack of fresh, I return my own plastic bag into my own bag. And what I do, I literally do it so someone can see it, because I pull it from my mouth and then open my zip and drop it into my bag. Because I'm trying to send a message, an indirect message whereby I'm telling this person, look, next time you have your own pack, make sure it goes back to you, because it's your responsibility. The same way you brushed your teeth in the morning is the same way you can also have this plastic bag dropped where it's supposed to be dropped and be collected. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Yes.
So you do that every single
That's
day?
my culture, my culture. I can give an example of even water consumption. You know, we say we're supposed to take 8 glasses of water, but the problem is we rarely even take a half of it. So what I usually do, like at my office, I have my water bottle there. Like I have several of them. At my bed, I have another one. So wherever I move within the house and I feel like drinking water, I don't need to go back to step one. I just go to the kitchen, you know, put on the tap and take water. So what I'm trying to say, if you can practice what I'm saying all over, it's very easy and manageable, because it's part of it, becomes a habit. When you fail to do it, you remember there's something that is missing. So you keep on doing the right thing, and you make your environment better.
All right.
Yes.
We'll be talking about litter pollution and all, you know, plastic and all that stuff.
Yes, yes.
Recently, Kenya announced the, you know, banning of plastic.
Yes, via NEMA, yeah. Yes.
Areas. Have we solved anything?
Let me say I congratulate the move, because there's a big change. There's a big change because when I drive along Thika super highway, when I drive to Nakuru Naivasha highway, the place is at least admirable. It's not compared to those days when you could see the trenches clogged with plastics and the water is all over the road when it rains. Right now it's a little bit recommendable. But what I can ask my fellow Kenyans and all my brothers all over the world, the young people, let's continue doing the good job.
All right.
Yes.
And, you know, right now it's probably, we were experiencing something called different climatic conditions. And you were in town yesterday, no?
Yeah.
It rained.
Yeah, it did.
It rained, you saw the clogging of, you know,
The
waterways.
trenches, yeah, it happens. Now, this is a good time to call for all the massive cleanups. You see, I respect Mheshimiwa Mike Sonko for what he has been doing. There's a monthly cleanup in Nairobi. So what we need to do is to borrow from the same. And if we can't borrow even from Nairobi, then let's borrow from Rwanda. Like the countrywide culture to become like, we know every 9th of the month, we clean up. Everyone closes the offices, close everything. Okay, of course, KUTV can't close. We'll need to see what we're doing. But the thing is, we need to be having a culture whereby we know this date, we need to do a massive cleanup. When we do that, what we need to do during the rainfalls is to harvest water, but not opening the trenches for water to pass.
All right.
Yes.
Talking of something, we should be storing this water.
Yes.
But now, one thing you have to realize, we have a treatment plant in Ruai, you know?
Yes.
But someone would argue, what's the point of letting this water into the rivers?
Of course, I support, because once you remember in Turkana when we discovered there's water, enough water to feed the entire country. But remember, wherever there's a drought, people in Turkana happens to be the first people to suffer. So once we have wonderful reservoirs, enough of them, when it rains, whether it's heavy or light, we have enough water stored. And the country, the government can at least say, we have 47 counties. Each and every county to have a bigger reserves water for the county. And once we go that way, we won't be having these issues of, of flooding and drought killing people because of water. At least I'm sure, pretty sure scientists say you can survive on water at least for 7 days. So if someone can push on water for 7 days, but then I am sure Red Cross will have brought the relief food and people can't die of hunger. Yes.
All right, just to, I know you have so much to talk about
Yes.
TK and everything.
Yes.
Your parting shot.
My parting shot. I would like to call the wonderful young people of this country to join me. I'm one person who is multi-talented, and to be in environment, it's also one of my calling. I'm not environmentalist by profession. I am so many professions, like 7 of them. But by calling at Team Environment Kenya, we are up to push to the task. So what I can tell you, don't be part of pollution, be part of the solution. We love you so much.
All right, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure our viewers will be so happy to, share the knowledge you've shared and everything. So asante sana.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Anytime. Well, I hope you've learned something from the environmentalists or the young people who are making a change in this world. And as I've always told you, if you really want to make an impact, find your broom. Until next time, my name is Anne Masharia. Stay tuned.